Hey guys! So, I have no idea what happened. Something like just wigged out and the whole thing went black. So, I'm just going to pop on here and share a few things to finish out our little chat on squeezing the day and trying to get all the things done for our business, right? In the little bit of time that we have. So, we are busy. We are busy, busy people. We are moms. Some of us have full time jobs. We have families. We have friends. We have sometimes multiple jobs and responsibilities, different things that we have to do and take care of, houses to maintain, groceries to buy, all the things, right? We've got to fit all those things in. And especially when you have a full-time job and there's just a few hours in the day when you get home. And at some point we have to sleep and eat, right? So how do you run a whole business? How do you fit all of the things in that our businesses encompass, right? All the following up and sharing and selling and making samples and having parties and collecting orders and putting orders in and helping team and coaching and all the things that we have to do to run this business successfully and grow it. How do we do all that when we just have those few hours left in the day? Like Melanie said before, we all have 24 hours in a day. So what do we do when we're using them all up doing all these other things? Here's the secret. You have more time than you think you do. You just do. It is a mindset hack, if you will, to find the hours that you actually have. And then when you have lots of responsibilities and particularly when you have a full-time job, you have to be very intentional about what you're going to do with the hours that you have. Okay? So the first thing I want you to do is not to say that you have 24 hours in a day. Okay? True, there are 24 hours in a day and you sleep for 8 of them, and for most of you, you work 8 to 10 of them, and then you've got to do food and you take care of kids and you do all the things, and there's very few hours left. And so when there's only a few hours left, we feel very anxious about those few hours. Those few hours are precious. When there's just a couple hours left in a day, those hours are precious to us and we do not want to give them up because we've had no time for ourselves. We've had no time to relax. We're exhausted. We've been busy all day and we just want to rest. Or there is some very special people, or we have kids that we feel like we need to spend them on, or there are chores or laundry to be done and we've got to do all those things. So we're very, very hard to give up those last couple of hours, especially to run a business. Right? So our business tends to go on the back, what's it called? You know what I'm talking about. It gets shelved. Our business comes last often is what happens. So here's what I want you to think. Instead of thinking 24 hours in a day, I want you to think about 168 hours in a week. So 24 times 7 is 168 hours in a whole week. Stop thinking about what can I do day to day, and I want you to start thinking about what do you want to get done in the week. Because when you do that, it gives you more flexibility. It gives you more opportunity for chunks of time to allocate to all the things that you need to get done. There's plenty of time to do all of it. And you'll have extra hours to take care of you too, and to sleep, and to rest, and do your full-time job, and all the things. There is plenty of time within your week, the whole week, 7 days, the whole week, to get all the things done. So stop thinking about what am I going to do in a day. I've got to do all the things every day. We're talking mind hack here, right? It's mindset. What are you going to get done in an entire week period? You have 168 hours. Okay. So let's break this down. 168 hours. We're going to give you a full 8 hours of sleep every single night. Full 8 hours of sleep, because that's what you should be doing. You're not going to be at your best. You're not going to have the energy, especially if you've got a lot of responsibilities. You need the energy to plow through it all. You need the energy to work a full-time job, take care of kids, the house, and a business. So you've got to get your 8 hours of sleep, not hanging out in bed on my phone, but sleep. So 8 hours of sleep every night is 56 hours a week. So we subtract that from the 168 and we are left with 112 hours. Now let's pretend you have a full-time job. Full-time meaning 40 hours a week. I'm going to even stretch that to 50 because you've got to commute, you've got to get ready. Sometimes it goes over, overtime, blah, blah, blah. So let's call it 50 hours. Just round it out nice and pretty at 50 hours. Let's subtract that 50 hours, that full-time job, from your weekly hours, and you still have 62 hours. So you've slept and you have worked a full-time job. Let's go one step further. So you have 62 hours. Let's just take another 12 off the top for eating, showering, all the random stuff, letting the dogs in and out all day. So let's take another 12 hours off the top, right? That still leaves you with 50 hours. 50 hours. You've slept, you've worked a full-time job. I've given you plenty of time to eat lunch, breakfast, this and that here and there. So you still have 50 hours in a week to allocate to all the things that you would like to do. So how many of those hours can you give up to exercise? Can you give up 2 hours a week to move your body a little bit every day? You're going to need a couple hours to go grocery shopping, maybe do a few errands. It still leaves you a whole heck of a lot of hours. So the next question is, how many hours do you need to do the things that will make you money in your business? How many hours do you truly need? And I think this is a kind of a mindset as well. Sometimes we think we need way more time than we actually do to make money in this business. Yeah, if you have more, you can be more creative and do more and bigger things. But if you are limited on time and energy, which is often the problem, then what are the things that you truly have to do? And this comes to step 2, where you have to be really intentional about the time that you do have, right? So if you've only got 50 hours a week to allocate, you've got to be intentional about those 50 hours, and you've got to decide what it is you need to do with them. Don't forget to take care of yourself. You might need an hour or 2 out of that 50 for you time, right? You need me time. You need to read a book, take a bath, go for girls' night, have a drink, watch a movie. You need something that makes you happy, that's going to fill you up, take you out of all the responsibility, and just give you pleasure and rest. So don't forget to allocate a couple of hours for yourself. But how many hours do you really need each week to do the things in your business? So there's a really cool document on your workstation, and I will download it. I will find the download link and put it in the comments. And it's called the Power Hour. If you can handle a couple of power hours a week, you could rock your business like you have never before. Like seriously, this is focused, intentional time, right? A power hour means you spend 1 hour, and maybe you do it 2 or 3 times a week. So that depends on what else you need to do within your week's time, right? With your 160 hours. But let's say you take 1 power hour and you focus and you spend 15 minutes booking parties and scheduling new events, parties, meetups, schedule sessions, finding events for you to do. 15 minutes to book things. And then you take 15 minutes to follow up with customers, potential recruits, team members. Then you spend 15 minutes, on the next thing. Maybe you've got orders to collect or invoices to check up on or whatever it is. So break up that power hour into little chunks of time where you become laser focused and you do the things that are going to make you money. Right? Do the things, knock them out, boom, boom, boom. Say, okay, I've got 1 hour. Now, here's the other cool thing. We talk about making Scentsy part of your life, and you can do this alongside your family and all that stuff. And that is well and good, and it is absolutely true. You should take your business, always be the Scentsy lady, right? And be ready when opportunity strikes. However, if you are trying to play mommy and business owner at the same time, you're just going to be frustrated and inefficient and wasting your precious moments. Right? You've got to be focused and intentional. So if you're going to schedule a specific hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever it is in your week for your business, then seriously allocate that just for your business. Be intentional, be focused. Schedule those hours when you have time to focus. When you have someone else or something else to occupy the children or the husband or the people or the dogs or whatever else is happening, right? And if it's not in your home, if that's not possible in your home, then you need to leave your home and go do it for 1 hour. I'm going to go for 1 hour. I'm going to go to the coffee shop and be focused and intentional on my business. So you've got to wrap your brain around your week, not your day. Know that you have more time than you think you do. And here's the thing. If you still don't believe me, if you don't believe that you have enough time or that you are short on time or there's just no way you can fit it all in, I'm challenging you to track your time. And I'm not talking like just kind of, oh, well, I did this and then. No, I'm talking about 15-minute increments. I mean, smaller than that is even better, but at least 15-minute increments. You literally write down exactly what you are doing every 15 minutes of the day for a whole week. Like, I challenge you to try that. And I will tell you that it is hugely eye-opening, and I can say that because I did it. I've done it multiple times, actually, and I will prove it to you because I kept them. So this is my time tracker, and I tracked my time for a week. This is the second time I did it. The first time I did it, I was feeling completely overwhelmed and stressed out. Completely. I was unhappy. I was unfulfilled. Life sucked, to be honest. And I was barely surviving. And I thought, I don't have time to do anything that I want to do. And I am falling behind. My business is struggling. I'm falling behind. I can't get the things done. I have horrible mommy guilt because I've not been able to be with my kids or spend the time with them or give them my attention. What is going on? And so I started looking at my schedule and I tracked my time. I literally tracked every moment of the day. And then here's the magic. It's color coding. I color coded the different categories. So business, family time, self time, like crazy just required things, right? Chores. So we're going to talk about chores too. And then, so I had two businesses at the time, business one and business two. And then I had, and back then I had PTO. So I had that a different color. And so I color coded everything. And what I saw was that the colors that were most important to me, my priorities, my family, my Scentsy business, my self-care, things like that were barely visible. The colors were sparse and just here and there. And the things that were not most important to me were colored all over. So, for example, real life, pink was PTO. I had volunteered for PTO and I did it with the intention of meeting new people, being involved in my kids' school, all that good stuff, right? Trying to volunteer and do good things. So I looked, when I tracked my time, I looked and PTO pink was like all over my schedule. It was everywhere. It was all pink and with very little other colors in between. And I thought, why am I spending all of my time on the thing that is the least important to me? That makes no sense whatsoever. And so, so here's what happens when you track your time. Number one, you identify that you're doing better than you thought you were. So this time when I tracked my time, the colors were way more diverse and there was way more self-care on here than I thought there was. And so I could feel good about like, oh, I am taking care of me. I am doing what I need to do. There are enough variety of colors. Everybody's getting what they need. And so I can feel good. I can relax a little bit. I don't have to feel guilty about not being with my kids or not spending the time because it's here. Here's the evidence. I did it. The other thing it could show you, so it's either going to show you that you're doing better than you thought you were, or it's going to show you that you need to make some tough decisions, that you're spending a lot of time doing things that are not important. And even as far as like, I literally wrote down on here, sat in car, in garage, and played Candy Crush. Like, you've got to do all the things. So if you sat in your car for 20 minutes scrolling Facebook, you need to write that that's what you did. So when you're looking at your tracker, you have a really clear and honest picture about where your time is being spent. So when you start talking about, oh, I don't have time and I'm not getting anything done and I can't run my business because I just don't have time to run my business, I'm too busy. Bullcrap, because your tracker says you've got 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there and 20 minutes there that you're scrolling Facebook or playing games on your phone where you could be focusing in intentionally on a power hour and following up with customers and meeting new people or booking events or doing a booking blitz or something like that. So if you're not convinced that you have more time than you think you do, you need to track what you're doing with your time for a whole week and categorize it and be really honest with yourself and identify either you're doing better than you think you are, or there are some spots in that schedule that you just are not being intentional with, that you need to make better decisions and use them more effectively. And so that's the first step, is understanding your time. And then number 2 is using the time that you have. If you have a full-time job, if you have a lot of responsibilities, you've got to use the few hours that you do have. So you have 50 hours in a whole week. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Like, pick 2, pick 3, and say, okay, these 3 hours, where am I going to put them in my schedule? And how am I going to use them most effectively? What income producing activities am I going to do that are going to move me forward the fastest in my business and get things done and knock them out, right? Okay, here's number 3. Secret number 3. And I posted the link in the first live video meeting, a More Magical Life /3 secrets. So I have a free video on these 3 secrets, and it's all typed out so you can go back and read them. So 3 secrets. The first one is you have more time with you think, so track it. Number 2 is be intentional with the time that you do have. Number 3 is to let it go. You got to let some stuff go. And whether that means making a decision to stop doing things that are wasting your time, but you also have to question the things that you are doing that you feel like are necessary, and they're maybe not. Because I will bet that there are things that you were doing that you were spending time and energy on. Remember, energy is really the key. Time and energy on that doesn't have to be you. It could be somebody else in your family. You could be delegating it. Maybe it's not important at all. Or maybe good enough is good enough and you're spending too much time trying to make it perfect. And you need to just let it be good enough so that you can spend those extra minutes on something that's more important. So think about that. Think about, what do I need to be doing? What can somebody else do for me? And I need to let it go. What do I need to stop being perfectionist about and just allow good enough to be good enough so that I have a few extra other minutes to spend on something more important? And the other piece is outsourcing. And I want you to think about outsourcing. And this is a struggle for a lot of people. And I have evidence of this. So I resisted for a very long time a housekeeper. Yes, I'm even talking about cleaning your house. Okay, so just run with me on this for a second. I know you're thinking, I don't have money to pay a housekeeper. I can't even pay my bills. What are you talking about? Okay, here's the thing. Your time is so valuable. It's so valuable, especially when you have a business where you can spend your time making money, right? So if you had an extra hour or 2 hours every week and you spent those 2 hours working your business hard and making money and growing, how much happier, how much more fulfilled, how much more would your paycheck be if you could do that and somebody else cleaned your house, right? So you don't have to spend the time. So all the time on your tracker is cleaning the house, worrying about the laundry. And here's the thing. It's not just physical time when you're talking about things like this. Sometimes it's mental time. So how many times have you just not been able to move forward with a project or been able to sit down and get to work because you're so distracted by all of the things in your house that need to get done? The the laundry, the dishes, the mopping, all the things, right? That we say, well, let me take care of this, this, and this, then I'll sit down and do my work. And by then you don't have any time left. What if somebody else did that? What if you paid $100 to let someone else do that? And you spent those 2 hours getting another $500 in orders, another $500 in basket parties, another whatever. What if you spent that time making more money and growing your business, signing up a new recruit? That would pay for that person to come do those things for you, right? Or pay your kids to do some extra chores. Let them make a little extra cash and let them take care of all the things for you. And it's okay for it to be good enough, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. So just consider and really look at your time and the activities and the things that you're spending your time on. What has to be you? What can you let go? What can you outsource? What can you delegate? I know sometimes in our business we take the cheap route. We say, well, that's really expensive to buy for my business, but I can buy this and this and this cheaper and do it myself. But that takes your time, and your time is valuable. How much is your time worth? Is it worth the little bit of savings that you might have had to do that thing yourself? Or maybe just pay the money, and now you have an extra 20 minutes. You don't have to do it yourself. It's all done for you. Cooking is another one. How many of us spend so much time trying to cook for our family? There are services out there, you guys. People will grocery shop for you and bring it to your house. You don't have to go to the grocery store. Do you pay a little fee? Yes. Is your time worth more than the little fee? Probably. What about things like HelloFresh? They deliver the ready-made food, recipes, all together to your door. All you got to do is mix them up in a pan and go. You don't have to think about what to cook. You don't have to plan the meal. You don't have to shop for the specific ingredients. You don't have to figure out what do you have in the pantry. What are we going to eat? That whole decision-making process is gone, and you just saved yourself an hour. Are they a little bit more expensive than just buying groceries? Maybe, but your time is worth it because you could spend that time and energy, mind energy, on something else that's going to make you way more money. It's also going to make you a less stressed out person. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you are less stressed out, when you are in control of your time and your schedule, you are a whole lot more happier and you are a whole lot more pleasant to be around, which means people are going to be more likely to do business with you and join your team. Because if you are stressed out and have no time and you're like killing yourself, surviving life, why would they want to do what you do? They don't want to do what you do. You're too busy. You don't have time to breathe. Why would they want to do that? So you've got to get control of your time. You've got to understand what you have and use it intentionally. Make sure you're putting in time for yourself so that you can live a much more relaxed, carefree, happy, and fulfilled life. More magical life. That's why I named my business that. That people will want to be a part of. That people will want to have for themselves. It's super, super important, and not just for you to get things done, but because that energy, that frazzled energy, is reflecting out to the world, and nobody wants a piece of that because they have got their own. You need to make sure that you are using your time intentionally, that you are being smart about each and every moment so that you can enjoy all the things, right? Enjoy the life. Enjoy the time that you do have with your family, friends. Enjoy your business. Enjoy your customers and your team. Life should be a joy. It should be happy because that is what's going to get people to want to be a part of it. So that's my 2 cents. Like I said, I put a comment in the other meeting. I'll add it to this one as well. A More Magical Life. I think it's www.amoremagicallife.com/3secrets. And that will give you a whole video on the 3 secrets, and it's all typed up. And I actually also have a course that I put together called Finding Time. And there's a link to register to that course. It's all free. Nothing costs money. But it's a little mini workshop course on this. So it walks you through the steps. It walks you through tracking. It walks you through identifying what your priorities are. It walks you through how to plan your week and being intentional. And it gives you all the resources. So you have the tracker, a planner, all the things, a couple of different fun exercises to help you find out what your priorities are. So that's a little workshop you can sign up for as well on that same page, to help you find time to do all the things and still have time for yourself. How about that? Now, the really cool, exciting news, and I wasn't sure how much I was going to tell you tonight, but since it's kind of the topic, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. So I am actually working on a course for you guys and for all of our future team members. So this is my course. I'm planning it out. I am working on it. It's going to be amazing. And it basically is it's going to be called Scent Biz 101. And it's basically getting your Scentsy business started, and how to build it and get it started in just a couple hours a week, which is really what we're talking about tonight, right? How do you build your business and do the things that you need to do and understand this whole thing in just a few hours a week? And how to not let it take over your life, and how to be able to, one of the modules, for example, is called Boundaries and Balance. And we're going to talk about how to run your business alongside your life and be able to have boundaries around both so that neither take over. Does that make sense? And then all the important things, right? What are the important things that are going to actually make you money, that you need to focus on? So I'm working on it. And it will be done soon, and you guys will be the first ones to be able to test it out for me. And it will be available for new team members that come on board. So as you're sponsoring, you don't have to worry about, how am I going to train this team member? I don't even know how to do this business. How am I going to train somebody to do it? The course will be there to back you up, and it will help them go through all the things to get their business running for themselves, and then you can just be there to check in and say hi and support them and answer any questions or send them to the right resources. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, so that's I think that's all I had to say. If anybody else has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, talk about them, whatever. Anybody? I know there's a delay, so I'll take a moment. Make sure there's no questions. All right. I hope you guys all have a great night. It's almost 9:30. Bye for now.